Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today, we're going to be talking about Clover Health once more. We're going to be bringing new pieces of due diligence, technical analysis, and what I think about this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. My last video is in the description below, but let's dive into the SEC filings right away. So on July 15th, 2021, Clover Health Investments Corp announced that Joseph Wenger, the CFO, would be stepping down as an officer on August 13th, 2021. The company entered into a separation agreement dated August 13th, 2021 with Mr. Wenger, pursuant on which he has agreed to cooperate and provide consulting services as reasonably requested by the company for 12 months following the departure date, and under the terms of the separation agreement, the subject to delivery of a release claims by Wenger, the company has agreed to extend the 1-year post-termination exercise period by Mr. Wenger. Now, unexercised qualified stock options and vested, and to pay Mr. Wenger around $10,000 per month. The separation agreement may be terminated by either parties at any time without prior notice provided. If the company terminates the agreement prior to the expiration date and consulting period, or the company hires on board a new chief CFO within the consulting period, the company will provide or will pay Mr. Wenger a one-time payment in the amount remaining of monthly fees or Mr. Wenger would have received if the consulting period had continued for 12 months. And so the main idea of this one here and why I want to cover it is that their PRs and basically their CFO workings has been somewhat not up to the standards of some of these stocks that have been receiving a lot of hype. And so definitely, maybe or perhaps that with a new CFO, you might actually get a stronger PR team in general. And so they are appointing interim Mr. Herbers as the interim CFO of the company to serve as the company's principal financial officer and the principal accounting officer. Mr. Herbs is expected to serve in this role while the company conducts a search for a permanent CFO and until it appoints his replacement. As disclosed previously, Mr. Herb, age of 67, has served on the director of Alex Partners LLP, a global consulting firm, since 2014, and also served as the CFO of American Renal Association, a provider of outpatient dialysis services from 2019 to 2021, as a CEO and a CRO of EI Paso Children's Hospital, as a hospital from 2015 to 2016, as a CFO for St. Clair's Health System, etc. And so the idea here is that they're getting a new CFO. Perhaps we're going to get better PR. With better PR, you can actually see stocks jumping in the price. That could be significant for us. Now, before moving on forward, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button on the bottom right corner and leave notifications button on for this channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like to this video, and you can join our Discord totally free in the description below. Now, in terms of institutional buyers, we have Green Oaks Capital Partners buying around almost 31%, a third of this company. And so that was very intriguing for me because between them and Vanguard, they have around 37% of the entire company. And really, it is almost the same amount that Garpali Vivek has, the CEO. So Green Oaks Capital Partners has really scooped in a good amount. And I was kind of intrigued on who they are. So they're a San Francisco company in California, United States, with around 11 to 50 people. They're a venture company capital as early stage ventures and late stage ventures. So really, in terms of the company and everything in between, they look like some bankers themselves. They have a very basic website where it's just an investor portal, media inquiries, and contact us page. And under investor portal, it's very much kind of none to the public. It's very much big money dealing with them. Once you see kind of this stuff, you already know that they perhaps could be worth it, but they're really just more about face-to-face and bigger money rather than smaller money. Or they're not working as Morgan Stanley, for instance. An advanced series trust association for allocation portfolios and other portfolios have been adding different shares. Might not be significant, but it has been mixed in terms of adding and disposing of shares. Really, the major talk on the street is relating towards Green Oaks Capital Partners buying more than or less than a third of the company itself. And in terms of the short volumes, you're able to see that more than a third of almost any given day, you're able to see that there's short stocks or short volume of the entire total volume of the stock. So short activity is quite high, and you're able to see that the short interest is actually at 23% currently. So a lot of people have been talking about a short squeeze on this one, and it did occur previously, around, I'd say, mid-June or early June. That short squeeze has been seen, and the question is, will we see another one? It's the same kind of levels, same kind of parameters that are there that was previously there for that short squeeze, but the question is, are short squeeze really intriguing for people to go ahead and buy it almost in a pump and dump phase? That is the big question. Let's move on towards technical analysis now. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, on the 1 month, 1 day perspective, we notice that this stock is below the 50 SMA level at the 1007. And the 30 MA is also above the 10 SMA. These two things are bearish. But if we were able to take a look into the Williams %R, which is a relative strength index, or RSI, they're very similar. What you're seeing here is that this stock is highly oversold, meaning that there is a lot more sellers than buyers. This could contribute a little towards where the sellers or short sellers are at, but also investors and long-time investors and traders as well involved in that as well. And in terms of the MACD, you're able to see that it is going to be testing a negative reversal on Monday as well, which is a very critical point, because if we do get Friday to be red and Monday to be red, this one would officially on this indicator turn into a negative reversal, even though it did drop from 965 down to the 741, which is considered still a massive pullback in its own. Momentum is still at negative 0.56, very close to the zero level, but it's been a lot more negative before, even negative 5 just last month, 20th of July. And if we're able to see the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, we're able to see here that they're actually dropping downwards, indicating that you need to be very careful where the next support is. On the moving average bands, there's nothing much to see. This one has a grip between the 903 and the 739 on the bottom, but it is currently very much stable. You might actually anticipate for it to trade between these two levels, but if history tells us one thing, that they're very easy to break, as you get to see before. Now, on the Fibonacci retracements, you're able to see there is a resistance at the 1163, above there 1492, 1758, 2024, 2403, and 2885. The support level is at 631. Now, on the price line action point, you're able to see that there is a critical support level at the 743. And if we pinpoint a little bit backwards, you're able to see 701 as the next one, and then 662 followed by 652. Now, these are the last three kind of support levels we need to be worried about. The current resistance is a critical one at the 805. If it doesn't break it, or if it touches it again, it has a high chance of it dropping back. And then 855 or 858, those 2 points are kind of a range. And if it does get into that range, you might anticipate for it to fall back as well. And then the next very hard one to break is 959, and then 1057. And then above there, you're seeing another one, 1231, not as strong. And then 1329, very strong. And then 1447, followed that around 1545. And then around 1660, going up to 1810, and then up to the 20s and the 30. Coming into the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Well, based on analyst ratings, this one is given a moderate sell, downgraded as well from JP Morgan, and it faced a lot of downgrades recently. Clover Health, with the massive institutional buyers picking up around 30% of it last week, it does seem to be a bit interesting that there might actually be something here we're not seeing. But a lot of people are very interested in this one. Some people are yelling short squeeze. The other people are interested in the long-term investments and fundamentals relating towards this one. Others are interested in the expansions for this one, thinking it's very bullish, which it is in that sense, and others are taking a look on their earnings potential. But if you're here just to make a quick buck on a short squeeze, there are a lot of players out there that could still perhaps see a short squeeze before this one. Yes, there is around 22% short float, but it is kind of a cyclical thing. Think about it. At some times, people are really flocking into tech or EV or high shorted stocks or gaming or weed, and it basically goes on almost in a cycle. And currently, this is not the cycle we're in. And so On all that, you do want to take a look at it from a fundamentals perspective and the long term. The long term, this one has everything it needs. Now, the management, if they're really smart and they really know what they're doing, they're going to be able to turn this into $100 stock in the next 5 years. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.